It is peak week and I am so excited that we are here. It is Sunday and I'm about to make some dinner. I am starving because, funny story, Anna, my best friend, coach, and trainer, and I had a photo shoot planned for today. And it was just basically to get like content for like our podcast and YouTube and like just social media. But we've been planning this for like several months and the date changed a couple times, but we settled on today, a week out from my show. And Anna's been like dieting down also in preparation. And we were getting our hair and makeup done today. And at that time that we were getting it done, the photographer texted her and said, basically, he's not going to be able to make it, which was very disappointing because we were literally like almost finished getting our hair and makeup done. And we had planned this for so long. So it was very, very disappointing. But long story short, I barely ate all day because I wanted to feel like slim and not bloated or puffy for the photos. So it was all a waste and for nothing, which was so annoying. But anyway, I am going to cook up some sweet potatoes. Sometimes I buy them whole and then like cut them up, but when like Amazon Fresh or Trader Joe's has them like already cut up, I'll buy them like this. So I'm just gonna air fry them. And I'm usually not a sweet potato fan. I like regular potatoes, but I've actually been digging sweet potatoes. I think when you eat regular potatoes or like one thing for so long, like it's nice to switch it up sometimes. So I just throw this all in the air fryer. I make it as super simple as possible. So what's that in there? I will spray with avocado spray, some everything but the bagel seasoning, which I love, and I put on almost everything because it's so good, and some salt. And then I will just give that like a little shake. And then just depending on how like evenly distributed the oil and stuff is, I might just like do another little round. I like salty food. I know like especially in prep or when you're like dieting down, people tend to stay away from salt, but I don't eat any processed food. And so all the salt I consume is the salt I put on my food. And I also sweat a lot. So I feel like I can make up for that with some salt. So that is ready to go. I will cook that probably for about 25 minutes and then shake it in between. And then while that heats up, I'm going to heat up some leftover mahi that I have and eat that with some sweet potatoes and some avocado, maybe a little shredded lettuce for like something extra. And that will be my dinner. So while my potatoes cook, I am going to just make a little salad, just some shredded lettuce with some onions and tomatoes and some jalapenos. But I wanted to also share with you guys how I'm doing now that we've entered peak week. I actually feel really good. Calories are at 1,300. We brought them down last Monday, so they're low. Like my energy is a little bit low, but I don't feel like I'm constantly starving, I think, which is a really good thing. And then also good news is probably we will not bring them down any lower for peak week. They will remain at 1,300, and I think my check-in photos look really good. I think that my hamstrings look like really defined and conditioned, and I'm worried about looking a little bit overly conditioned, so I don't think I need to necessarily drop any more weight, but I'll be doing check-in photos every single morning. So this morning's weight was 135.4, which is great. I usually lose a few pounds in peak week. I water load, so I start off with like 2 gallons of water today, 2 gallons tomorrow, and then kind of decrease until very little water on show day and the day before. So I think with all things considered, I'll be hopefully at my best for the show on Saturday. I'm feeling excited about it because one of our friends is doing it and who Anna also coaches, and she'll be there. So I think it'll be kind of just like a fun weekend, and it's in LA, so it's fairly close, but like a little bit of a getaway. And it's our friend's first show, so I'm like really excited for her. But there's a little part of me that's like, it's a regional show, it's not a national show. I wish it was a national show. I think I'd be a little bit more excited just like for that level of competition. But nonetheless, I'm grateful to be doing it. And I think I will be very excited. I know I will be very excited to be done with it so that I can start reversing, because I think I mentioned this in my last video, but I am just really over dieting. I feel like it's been so long since I felt like myself. It's been so long since I've had a solid amount of energy. It's been so long since I've had like freedom to go out to dates with my husband and like enjoy life. So, I'm not complaining because obviously this is a decision that I make and I'm grateful for the health and the opportunity. With that said, like I'm just ready to stop dieting and like get back to a little bit of a normal life and then also start to build and develop some muscle. Incidentally, I have bought these jalapeno slices. They're Mount Olive brand and I get them on Amazon fresh, but they're so good. They're like a pickled jalapeno. They're just like a tiny bit spicy, not much, but they add a ton of flavor. I literally been adding it to everything. I just take out like a bunch and then I just dice them and throw them on my salad, throw them in rice, eat them whole as is. They're just really good if you like a little bit of spicy or pickled flavor. So that's where I am basically. The plan after this show is to reverse for a good amount of time with the intention of building the right muscle and developing, growing into nationals show next November, which is the Masters one. I will not be doing the Ben Weider natural show. I don't think that the natural division, even though I'm natural, is for me. It's just a different look, a different type of competitor. So I'm going to stick with just the shows that I'm used to. And I hope to get my pro card next November at the Masters National here in Southern California. So that'll be my goal. I'll probably do a warm-up show leading up to that just to kind of like get my body primed and conditioned. Anyway, it looks like about 7 months off, hopefully, of just reverse dieting and developing some glute muscle. And I'm looking forward to that. So it's been a very long time since I've been able to like push hard at the gym. And I need it. I need it in order to grow. So it's going to be a good time for me. So dinner is ready, and along with my obsession with jalapenos, I've also been putting lemon on everything. I'm just like on a lemon kick. One thing I wanted to mention about the conditioning situation and not wanting to be over conditioned. I recently listened to a podcast by Team Elite Physique, and Sandy Williamson was on there, like an hour-long interview about the judging criteria for the bikini division. And it was so insightful. So if you are interested in listening to it, check out Team Elite Physique. They have a podcast and also YouTube. And Sandy talks about not being over-conditioned and not being soft necessarily, but having like bubbly muscle and really looking like the top 3 Olympians, which they had like nice, pretty muscle, a little tiny bit softer look, very feminine, and not like overly conditioned and skinny and not super muscular. So it's hard to sort of like nail that, but that's what I'm going for. Anyway, dinner is served. I don't know if you can see this, but it is amazingly beautiful and colorful. 5 ounces of mahi, 100 ounces of sweet potato, and then a salad with basically shredded lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and jalapenos, and 1.5 ounces of avocado. That is my dinner, and I'll talk to you guys later. Good morning. It is Tuesday of peak week. I did my fasted cardio this morning, showered, got ready, and I'm about to make my breakfast before I head to a doctor's appointment and then to the gym. I am going to make protein oats, which I literally have every single morning for breakfast. Well, either oats or cream of rice, but literally like the almost exact same thing. So I am going to start with these quick rolled oats, which I love. And what I love about this breakfast is like it digests really easily, although there's fiber in the oats, but it fills me up and gives me just enough energy for like a good 2-hour workout or so, and is well balanced, and I love the taste of it. So these oats I find are the best. I've tried like every oat out there, and these Bob's Red Mill quick cooking oats, like they just, I don't know, like the texture, the consistency, the size of the oat, I love. So I have only 20 grams of oats, which is so sad. And then I just pour hot water on top of it. We have a hot water dispenser. So I like my oats like pretty runny. So I'm just going to cover them with water, and that'll start to absorb and like soak into the oats. And then I love this protein powder. It's a vegan protein powder by Core Nutritionals. This is the vanilla flavor. I'm almost out, so I just ordered the peanut butter flavor, which comes today. I have not tried yet, but a lot of people, when I recommend protein powders, like don't like them. And I think that's because like there's a fake sugar in there. So it has like this aftertaste. Of course, as a competitor and just in general, like I don't mind the fake sugar taste. I'm just used to it. I eat Splenda and stevia. But what I like about this protein powder is the taste is really good, but it also has like very low sodium. So it has 6 milligrams of sodium, which is less than 1% of your daily recommended value. And I don't know if this is true for whey proteins or casein proteins, but with vegan proteins, I find in like most, they are like astronomically high in sodium, like crazy. So this one I found to be the lowest in sodium, which is a reason why I really like it. So I am just going to scoop 25 grams of protein in here. This is probably actually the whole thing. I'm almost out. Okay, 21 grams of protein because I don't have enough for 25. And then I just like mix this all together. And the amount of water that you use, I'm sure if you make oats, you already know this, should be based on the consistency that you like it. So for example, my husband likes his like really thick, and I just prefer mine not thick. Like the thought of them being thick makes me want to gag. So it's pretty creamy now, but what I'm going to do is also add psyllium in here, which will thicken it up a little bit. And it's because now that I'm so low in calories, I'm not getting enough fiber. So I try to aim for at least 25 grams of fiber a day. For women, it's recommended we have at minimum 28 grams of fiber, but I am going to add in this psyllium husk powder that I get from Amazon. I love it because it's like very fine and it mixes really well, and you can like hardly taste it, although I don't think you could taste it. My husband doesn't like it. He thinks it has like a little bit of a taste, but he's very picky and I'm not so much. So I'm just going to sprinkle like 5 grams of this on top, and it'll add about 4 grams of fiber. And then I mix this all together again. And then this is when I'll probably add more water because it thickens it up a little bit. And then I will add my usual cinnamon because I love cinnamon. I put it on everything. It's true you can eat like too much cinnamon. I think there's like cinnamon toxicity, but it has really great nutrients, anti-inflammatory properties, and still it's a little thick because of the psyllium, but I just add more water. And now I will add my favorite part, which is almond butter. I get my almond butter and peanut butter from Trader Joe's. I think it's so good and it's so inexpensive compared to some like, I don't know, bougie almond butters and peanut butters that you can get at other stores like Whole Foods or whatever. Literally the only ingredients are almonds and peanuts. So I don't know why you have to pay like $15 for a thing of almond butter at the grocery store when you can get it at Trader Joe's for like $3. So I have 20 grams of almond butter. I'm just going to pop that in there and then top it with a little pink salt. If you're not adding pink salt to your oats, you are missing out. I don't normally like sweet and savory foods, but a little bit of salt on the oats is so good. And then mix that all together and then perfect, good to go. I am making my afternoon snack. I have to do an hour of cardio still. So I'm going to eat this before I do it. And I'm like obsessed with this little snack. So I wanted to share it with you guys. I use Joseph's flax, oat bran, and whole wheat pita breads. These are so good. The nutrition profile is really good for each pita, which like are this size. So they're pretty good size. There's 60 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 9 carbs, and 6 grams of protein, and also 2 grams of fiber per one. So they're really amazing, good source of omega-3 fatty acids. And you can get these, I think I get them on Amazon Fresh, but I think like grocery stores have them. Sprouts used to have them, but they're so good. And so recently I've been just making 2 of those, and then also virgin coconut oil. I'm not like a big fan of oils, and I've never really used oils that much, but I was looking for a fat that had no carbs or protein. So I had this in my cabinet and I decided to try it, and I am obsessed. I heat these pita breads up first on the stove and get them like nice and warm. And actually like I overcook them so they're a little bit toasty, like almost like kind of like crackerish. I find it more appealing to eat like that. But another thing that you could do with these pitas that sometimes I will do is like put some tuna in them, or like some meatless crumbles and make like little tacos. You could like spread avocado on them. I mean, they're just really versatile. If you eat eggs, you can like wrap eggs in them. So there's like a lot you could do with that. And I just think that they're amazing. So I have just 6 grams of coconut oil to put on here. And so I just spread it all around. And again, like I don't have that many like macros to use for this right now. So basically the fat and the macros from the pita is all I'm going to get. But what I do to make it like a little bit more tasty is I add cinnamon to it. And then I have to cut out all artificial sweeteners since it's peak week. But typically on top of this, I would also add like some stevia or like Splenda just to make it a little sweet. And then it's like a little dessert. So that is it, like very, very simple, but a good source of carbs, a good source of fats, and it should hold me over for and through cardio. So good. It is the day before the show. It is Friday, and we are heading up to LA in like 25 minutes, and I need to pack my bag. And I've literally left it to the last minute. I think I'm just like taking for granted the fact that we're just like driving up to LA for one night. So I'm like, I don't need that much stuff, but I got to make sure I have all my stuff together. So I have my show day travel list of everything I need to pack. I don't need to bring as much stuff just because we're only going for one night, which makes it really simple. So I think I'm going to try to pack everything in my show day suitcase that I bring down to backstage with me that has all my stuff. And honestly, so much stuff is already left in here from the last show. After the Ben Weider national show, I had such a bad taste in my mouth that I basically like came home and like unpacked stuff that needed to be washed, but left everything else in my bag. I just wanted to like forget about it and move on. So I still have quite a bit of stuff already left in my suitcase, which I guess kind of makes it easier. So if you've watched my peak week and show day videos in the past, you'll know I just have like the same things I pack every single show. And I have a checklist making sure everything goes in here. And this suitcase comes down to backstage with me. So everything I bring is like very, very consistent. So the first thing I do is pack my black sheets and my black pillowcase. This little sheet thing is like almost like a little cocoon thing. So it protects me from the bottom and the top and just kind of like wraps in me. And also like when I share the bed with my husband when we travel for a competition, because of the tan, sometimes I don't. But when I do, this is nice because it keeps like him protected from my tan. So that goes in there. And then I just have some black sweats and a black long sleeve top that I will wear basically after my second coat of tan tonight, and then to hair and makeup tomorrow. So I'll pack that in there. I of course have my 2 show day heels just in case one breaks. I always have a backup pair because God forbid you work so hard to prep for a show and your heel breaks and you can't step on stage. And then next I have, of course, my suit, which is most important too. This week I went in, had my suit bottoms taken out just a hair,
and they actually fit really well before, but what I wanted to accomplish was to be able to pull them up on the side to sort of like get that illusion of like long legs and a long torso. But I felt like it was like pulling too much up my butt, and not that it was uncomfortable, but I feel like for judging, it looks like you're a little bit more conditioned when you have more fabric in between your butt cheeks. So that's the illusion I'm going to try to create. Not that I'm under conditioned. I think my conditioning's on point, but I think it just looks a little bit better when it doesn't look like it's riding all the way up and like basically getting lost. I have 2 suits also just in case something breaks. These are Angel Competition bikini suits and they're such good quality, so I don't anticipate anything breaking, but you just like never know. So that will go in there. I also have my show day jewelry. I have like just different options in case I want to like, I don't know, I'm feeling something different. Some face wipes always. I'm not bringing any makeup or like toiletries except for like a toothbrush and toothpaste, which is really nice, and just my normal skincare routine because it's only one night. So I'll be washing my face tonight, washing it in the morning, and then getting my hair and makeup done. And then we're going to be driving home after the show, so I won't really need much maintenance. So that will go in there. Actually, I think I'm going to pack this in my husband's suitcase. I have my posing suit. I don't know. I may want to practice posing tonight in my posing suit. Sometimes I don't like to get my other suit out. Just it's not as comfortable. So I'm going to pack this. Of course, I have my pee funnel. So that will go. Very important. I have all my tanning stuff. I do my own tan. If you've seen my other videos, you'll know that as well. Or my husband does it for me. So we have a bowl and a couple puffs. And then I have my top coat, which will go on tomorrow, like an hour or 2 before prejudging. And then I have a combination of super dark and just like a regular color overnight tan. So I'll mix these together tonight and get like more of a dark tan. My husband did my first coat. You can see a little bit of my stomach. We didn't do the super dark. We just went 1 coat of the basic overnight competition base coat. And that's because I already have like an olivey kind of skin. So I don't want to go too dark. So I will be packing that as well. And some gloves for my husband to do my tan because it's always very messy. So that will go in here. And then I have my bands. I will use these for pump up before the show. So I have just like this jump rope kind of one. And then this one just for like some kickbacks or like side kicks or just to get the glutes and shoulders pumped up. So those are always, they live in this suitcase, so I never forget them. And they're always backstage with me. That's pretty much it. Oh, and a robe. A robe is great. I will wear it between prejudging and finals, which is just really convenient so you don't have to put on clothes or ruin your tan, etc. So that will be packed as well. And yeah, my tripod so I can take check-in photos if I need to, although Anna's going to be there tonight, which I'm so excited about. So we will be doing check-ins live. And yeah, I think that's it. So super easy. I am about to go prep my food, pack my food, which again will be super simple compared to like last time when I was traveling for several days. This time it's just literally meals for like half the day today and then tomorrow through the show. And then one thing about the show that I'm like super excited about is, first of all, I think it's a smaller show because it's the first show of the year right after the holidays, and like, unless you're crazy like me, why are you prepping through the holidays to like compete immediately when there's shows all the time? So I think it'll be relatively small, but also prejudging starts at 10:30, which is like an hour and a half later than normal, and final starts at 2, which is like a couple hours earlier than normal. So I'm super excited about that. I don't anticipate like, you know, having to wait around all day or like get done super late. So I'm like almost missing dinner. I think we're gonna have like a really cruisy kind of day, and I think it's gonna be amazing. So that's it. I'm gonna go pack my food and get on the road. Food prep was so easy this time because we're just going up to LA for today, overnight, and coming back tomorrow after the show. And finals is pretty early, so I didn't have to pack that much. So I have 2 tubs with 4 ounces of tilapia and 10 almonds. These I will eat today. This one probably in the car on the drive up, and then this one later in the hotel. And then I have 4 containers with 4 ounces of tilapia and a half a cup of rice. And that will be for also today for dinner and then for tomorrow before prejudging. And I brought some extra rice just in case I need more carbs if things run late. Some oats I will have for breakfast along with some peanut butter, salt, stevia, and then I have rice cakes with some honey to eat right before I go on stage, and my bag to pack it in. So super simple this time, and I am here for it. The LA Champions show is over and I am officially in improvement season. So I just wanted to recap a little bit about how the show day went. I know this prep and also peak weekend show day, I didn't get so much footage. And to be honest, I just wasn't really feeling it in terms of like the excitement and wanting to capture the moments and wanting to share all them with you guys on YouTube and also on my social media. I just felt like I was kind of going through the motions. And if you guys have been following my journey, you'll know that after the national show in November, I just was having a hard time with the season ending that way. And Anna, my coach and trainer and best friend, told me to do this LA show because it was 8 weeks out from then and our friend is doing it and she would be there. And so it was like this whole thing, this like event. And so I said, okay, I'll do it just because it will be really fun to be with all these people and all my friends. But to be honest, my heart like wasn't truly in it. And I will say that out of all of the shows I've done, this was my 7th. This is the show I've been least excited for, had the least anxiety for, just like, I don't know, just it felt a little bit different. Like I was just kind of going through the motions, but I'm super glad I did it. And I'll tell you about the results and the feedback and all that stuff. But above all, like the show day was really fun and we learned a lot from the judges' feedback about areas to improve. So the show was in LA. We drove up Friday for check-ins, stayed the night, and the show day was on Saturday. My hair and makeup didn't start till 9:30, which is amazing because on some shows it starts as early as 4:30. So to have that like extra sleep is amazing. And then pre-judging starts at 10:30 and finals started at 2. So it was like super fast and everything was just like going great, which is amazing because the worst part about show day for me is like the sitting around and waiting in between pre-judging and finals and just like the whole time. So this was amazing. We were literally like at dinner by 6 p.m. and we had this amazing dinner, then drove home. So it was so nice to sleep in our own bed and then wake up on Sunday morning in improvement season and like all the things. So I came in second in open class E, and I won't say like I am happy with that or disappointed with that. I'm just kind of neutral. I think if I came in lower than second, I would be disappointed. And of course, I'd want the first place. But to be honest with you, the first place in my bikini open class was phenomenal. Like she was in the best shape, had amazing genetics, a wide clavicle and a tiny waist, and she just looked amazing. So she earned that first place. So if I'm going to lose to anybody, I'm glad it's her because she deserved it. But I was a little bit disappointed that day just not to even have the chance to go to overall and battle it out for the overall. Even if I would have lost to her, I still would have liked that chance. Of course, we waited after to get the feedback from the judges, and the judges on the panel, most of them were judges I haven't been judged from before. So it was really great to get a different perspective. And I'm pretty happy with it. So what they said was that shape was great, conditioning was great, muscularity was great. So the areas they told me to improve in were actually things I hadn't heard before. They told me that they would have had liked to see me with more lines and definition. And I said, in ways of more conditioning? And they said, no. Conditioning was on point, but perhaps you consider manipulating your carbs and your water and your salt intake just to come in a little sharper. And I actually really love this feedback because this was the first show that Anna and I didn't remove carbs in peak week. Normally, starting like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before the show, we decrease carbs pretty substantially. Carbs just that are in my vegetables or proteins or fats or whatever. And then we also lower salt and then pull salt until Thursday night. And this is the first time we didn't do that. And why didn't we do it? Really just, I think, to kind of test my body. We thought it looked good the way it was, but I'm glad that we didn't do this. And I'm glad that we got that feedback because it shows that the judges like my body a certain way. They like it a certain look. And that's to be like a little bit tighter, like, you know, a little bit like dehydrated, if you will. So we know that for next time, something that we always do. It's no problem to incorporate that in. So that was actually really good feedback. Like, okay, got it. And 3 of the 4 judges we talked to had that same feedback. So it was pretty consistent. Another piece of feedback was that my legs and my glutes are full. Do not get them any bigger, which I know that my quads tend to be on the larger side. They're dominant. They always have been. And so we do a lot of exercises that sort of take my quads out of it. We don't do like a lot of leg press. We don't do a lot of squats. So we are always conscious of this, but I never heard my glutes be full enough. So I don't know like what this means now. Like, what am I going to do in the gym? I've been focusing on growing my glutes for so long, and now they tell me they're full enough. Well, I'm grateful for that. And I think there's definitely improvements that could be made, but it was just like such different feedback than I had heard before. So I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do with this? But all in all, I'm very happy with the feedback. They love my shape. One of the judges, because they write notes on their scorecard, and one of the judges had that I had a beautiful figure, which is not nice just because it's a compliment, but because that's how they see my body on stage. And I know I don't have like the smallest waist. My waist measures on, well, I don't ever measure on show day, but like maybe a day or 2 before show day, my waist measures at like a 26.5 or 26.25 inches, like around the most narrow part, which isn't that small by any means. But I had mentioned this to the judge as well. You know I don't have as small of a waist as this first place winner who actually won the overall as well. And they said that, it doesn't matter because I pose it well. So I was happy for like the validation, happy to hear some new areas in which I can improve, happy to hear how they prefer my body. So it was definitely worthwhile. So now the question begs, where do I go from here? And I originally was thinking I was going to do the Masters National Show in Anaheim, not the Ben Weider one, which I will not do again, but the one here local in Southern California next November, because I thought, well, I need to continue to grow. So let me take a proper off season, increase my calories, and then put in the work in the gym so I can come back really competitive. But now that I don't need to grow, I may consider jumping into a national show a little bit earlier. Anna went to Brazil the day after the show, so her and I have not really been able to like speak about everything and all the feedback and kind of the plan going forward. And actually, it's probably better that her and I both take some time to like just think about it. But I do have a trip planned to go to Greece this July for my husband's birthday, and this is like a non-negotiable trip that has been planned. So I have to plan my competing schedule around that. So I'm not quite sure what I do, but there's a chance maybe I compete at Junior Nationals in June, or there's just a chance I may put it off until November, or there's a chance I could do both, but I don't really know. But what I do know is I am going to enjoy this time off from like extreme dieting and try to reverse very healthy back into a balanced diet. It's been really hard, to be honest, the last few days. I gave myself basically Saturday night, I had a salad with some salmon for dinner, but also some French fries and wine. And then Sunday, I had some sushi and wine. And then, here and there, I've been like eating things that I probably shouldn't be, but trying to keep a pretty strict diet. But it's hard because it's been a very, very long time since I've had that freedom. And I don't necessarily just like want to go eat cheeseburgers and French fries, but I think I want to eat these foods that I enjoy that I haven't been able to have for a very long time. So it's been a little bit of a struggle, but reverse dieting is always a struggle. In fact, I'm going to do a video on reverse dieting and my plan and how it changes week to week and the impact and results that I'm getting from reverse dieting and some of the struggles, but also some of the wins, hopefully, that I'll be experiencing also. So if you're interested, check that out. I'll probably do one for this week and also next week. But anyway, the plan is to reverse. I'm taking the time off of the gym this week, so no lifting, which I think my body will definitely welcome. That way next week I can just hit it hard. But I am doing cardio. So I brought calories from 1300 up to 1400. So 14 will be my baseline for 2 weeks. I'm supposed to bring cardio down to 40 minutes, but the last couple of days I've done an hour on the treadmill, and that's just because I've been kind of sedentary, working at my desk a lot, and I feel like I'm not getting a lot of movement and activity. So I've done an hour both days, and I'll probably continue the hour through this week, and then maybe next week when I get back in the gym, I'll bring it down to 40 minutes with my weights, and then still a 1400 calorie diet, and then kind of bring it up from there. So that's where I'm at. Again, glad to start the year off with a good show under my belt. I hope that this can lead me into a very successful off season, which will in turn lead me to a very successful prep for my next show. My goal is to get my pro card this year. I also know how incredibly challenging that is. So there are no expectations, but I'm gonna really, really work 110% for it and fight for hell for it. And if it's my time, it's my time. I will keep you guys all posted. Like I said, thank you so much for all of your support, everybody who reaches out, all the kindness, all the love. It goes a long way. Prep is hard, competing is hard, placings are often hard, so every bit of support means so much to me. So thanks guys for watching, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon.